I think it's really hard work to get an accent. And I think a lot of people kind of think that they can't do it because they're not prepared to put the work in.
Yes, you bring up a great point. I believe that it is easier for some than others, but all of you are talking. So if you're talking, then you've learned how to do this already. And you learned how to do it at a part in your life, at a time in your life where you weren't even thinking about knowing how to do something. You just, copied. You listened to sounds and you said the sounds and you said them exactly. So exactly that when people say, oh, I'm tone deaf, I can't sing. And I say, really, can you tell this is a question? Can you ask a question? When people ask a question, everything you're saying, every pitch you are choosing is intricate. It's intricate. And you can tell the difference between, very fine distinctions, and you're making them all the time. So if that's a bit of a load off, just to know, oh, okay, I didn't think I could, but it's not a question of my function, because my function is I do this all day long. But it's a question of what's getting in the way of my changing it? What's getting in the way of my learning? What's getting in the way of my listening? Am I recording myself and listening back and being very specific, because these things are so specific. There's 8 billion people on this planet, and we all talk differently when we're talking to little kids or to our boss or, our friends. So you're changing all the time. And then, I know it's different for me, like moving to Australia and having to sound, having to book roles and all, than if it was a different language, because technically it's English, but Aussie is quite different as well. And, I did that as well. So I've got a little bit of a window into how, how it's possible, and how you have to be constantly tuning to, okay, they say it like this, we say it like this, we say it like this, and you're just always listening to the different words.
One of the things that we have a big problem with here is, well, I have a problem as a casting director, and other casting directors have, is that we see actors who work really hard to get their perfect English accent, but a lot of the times we want them to have a Spanish accent or a French accent. We want them, and there's several quite well-known actors, that are well-known to me, but they can't actually do English with a slight Spanish accent, which is their most castable thing, because they've spent so much time working on the other accent, and they're not from anywhere. Because the problem, what I think, Amy is so amazing, and Alex, both of you sound like you are from where you are when you're talking, so that you've eliminated all the backstory.
I think a lot of it has to do with the vibe. So one of the things that we work with at 21 Accents that I've actually not seen anyone else do is the vibe. How does it feel to be American or to sound American? When I moved back to do Tres Caminos for Prime Video in 2020, I would walk into the set and people would go, oh, he's not Spanish. He's not, there's no way he's Spanish. And they would come to me and they would speak to me in English. There's something about the energy, and this is kind of together, it goes together with what Amy was saying. There's something about the energy of being in a character, in a very specific energy for a very long time. What I do is I will go in with a Spanish sentence and then keep the same sounds as I would have for Spanish. So like if I'm going, pues si es que me quiero ir a casa porque I don't have anything to do today, and then I have to then go back to my house, and then I have to like meet with my parents and just keep the same sounds that I would use in Spanish in English, and then work it from there, rather than trying to come from, oh, I'm gonna go a little bit more American. From that energy, you work less and less. Okay, so maybe I won't go with all the sounds of Spanish. Maybe I can, tune it in a little bit more and just keep like a slighted accent, and that sounds a little bit more like this. So it's not like so like Penelope Cruz. So it's kind of working from that energy rather than working from the set of sounds.